workout yesterday, we did hang clean, a set of 5, a set of 4, and 3 threes. Box jumps, 4 sets of 4. Sandbag step up to overhead press, 3 5s each leg, and a glute ham with a 25 3/8. That was our first block. I always start off with the platform work first. I don't know, did you guys happen to see the overhead 5 and 5 where they put their heels on the plates to start? That's something that we started doing. I think it's helped us out a lot just for overall body flexibility. You know, it's really a snatch squat or an overhead squat, heels on the plates all the way down. I just think it gets your body warmed up and ready to go. It helps you start working on your upper and lower body flexibility, especially shoulder. In season, I don't snatch. In the summer, we'll snatch just because I think they have enough torque on their shoulders already in season and what they're doing in the room and competition-wise. But I think it is critical in the off-season to do snatch just because it helps strengthen that shoulder girdle. Plus, the USA weightlifting has done studies and you actually derive more power from your body by doing a snatch than you do from a clean. So I think snatch is critical. But we'll do the overhead 5 and 5, 5 on, the 10-pound plates, 5 off, trying to get as deep as you can. But I think too, when you're in that position and you're having to shrug up against the bar, keep your head through, I think that's good just for shoulder stability and trying to make sure that all those joints and stability-wise, the shoulder integrity is so much better when you try to work that every day.
Is that a warm-up?
It's a warm-up before they lift.
Every lift?
Yeah. I used to do a barbell warm-up. Where's Neil at? It's your little tail over here. Remember the hang clean front squat jerk? Yeah. Hi, Jason. You face that way? Yeah, you face that way. This was the one I used to do too, hang clean front squat jerk. They can do either 3 or 5 reps just from the empty bar. Clean it, front squat it, and then now just press it up. That's a good one. We used to do a jerk, and then sometimes too, when guys are really stiff, clean it, front squat, and just do like a push press. Just press it up, head through. Either way, but I think we used to do that one. I used to swap them out, do one way, one day, one the other. But I think the overhead 5 and 5 is just so much more difficult to do. But that's both of them. So yes, every day they come to the platform, that's the first thing they do after they do their stuff out there. Thank you, Neil. Now, on our hang clean, I'll switch that up quite a bit. I think in season, like once we start the duels, one day I'll do a heavier hang clean, and the other day I'll do more of a bar speed, 4 sets of 4, kind of lighter, making sure they get their elbows through, just making sure that their nervous system is firing. Because again, everything you want to do, you don't want a slow athlete. You want power and explosion. And so if you're not teaching it and working all the time, no matter who it is, they'll just go through the motion. They'll do this number, and I can't stand this. Well, that doesn't do anybody any good. Any sport you do, no matter what it is, whether it's on the field, court, mat, doesn't matter. If you're not extending the hip, knee, and ankle explosively, you're not going to be a very good athlete. So that's why we do the platform work. We're teaching the body at all times, teaching the athlete to extend the hip, knee, and ankle. And if you're getting triple extension, that's what some guys call it. If you're getting triple extension and your hips are popping, you're going to be an explosive athlete. That's just the way it is. So you're going to clean, you're going to snatch, and you're going to jerk when you get to Oklahoma State. And if you don't know how to do it in high schools and they don't get here, you know how to do it, that's even better. You know, because sometimes it's like, that's why wrestlers are so much more fun to work with in football, because football guys have done it growing up, and it's like they think they're experts when they get here. So we have to go back and fix things if they catch it like this. So sometimes that's better if they don't do it. But again, I'd rather you do it and have them stay light with it and get their elbows through, and just every time you try to extend that, your hips, it's so much better. Also, not that I'm a big fan of him because he's a Husker, but Jordan Burroughs has got some triple extension, doesn't he? He hits that blast double. I mean, it's pretty impressive. Coleman Scott, same way. And I know this is going to be a shocker for you, but Coleman was a fantastic lifter. You know, I'm kidding. The guy was a stallion. I mean, it shouldn't be so many times you see guys that are stallions in here are great upstairs. So Coleman can clean, snatch, and jerk and squat like you can't believe. Coleman can jump up on that box right there where Coach Smith's leaning on. And for a white dude, that's pretty impressive. So, and can he not? It's pretty amazing. But again, he's got great triple extension. His hip pop is phenomenal. And so a lot of times, you know, when I would want to get on the big Rochal, I'd have Coleman do something and that would piss him off. So so again, two different ways I do hang clean. I'll start in kind of in the summer and preseason. I'll have them start handling a little bit heavier weights, and I'll have them go down to like doubles. I'll never really do a single, but I'll do like 5, 3, 2, 2, or 4 sets of 2, where again they're handling some weight, and then on that second day they're going to go a little bit more explosively and a little bit lighter. And then a lot of times I'd already done. I have box jump second on this lift, but I'd already done heavy front squats earlier in the week. So I wanted another single leg workout, single leg lift. I started off with front squats heavy on Monday. On Wednesday we did heavy walking lunges. And so this day I wanted to do another single leg, which is the sandbag step up. But if I've got a heavy front squat or a heavy back squat, which let me take this little time too to go over that. I've almost, again, the older I get, the more I've switched. I'm almost gone completely away from back squat and gone to front squat. Anybody know why? You're in such a better position for your spine. And unless you're super flexible hip-wise, because of the position of the bar, no matter what, when you're here, a lot of guys want to be here. The Rochals, even Jessica, when she lifted here as a wrestler, as a soccer player. Jared, Jake, Blake, and Adam all do the same thing. And you've got to be on them at all time to keep their chest up. So front squat, you're in a better position. It's like a 45-degree angle. You know, you can really teach that steel rod in your spine because of the placement of the bar. Plus, everything transfers over to the platform work. If they can do this with their fingers and keep the bar up here, great. If they can't, I teach them how to use the straps on the bar to where they wrap it around and keep their elbows up. So, and it just, strap drop it down and put on 135. Plus, let's say we smash University of Oklahoma on a Sunday afternoon, Monday morning, we got a lift, and somebody tweaked their wrist during the duel. This is also another way to go ahead and get, if they're a guy that normally does this and can do it like they're catching a clean, if they've got a tweaked finger or wrist or whatever, now they can use the straps and never miss a beat as well. So I'll just take the straps around the bar and then put it through the hole, just hang it down like that. And what you want them to do, you don't want them to get real low like this, or even like this, where it creates a gap, because they don't really have control of the bar. So you're going to work up on the strap, wrap it around to where you're right on the knob. There we go. And then what he does, he's just going to roll his elbows through. And again, the elbows are actually in the same spot. Facing forward, the bar's sitting in the same spot. And away he goes. Notice how his back's nice and straight. Of course, Neil's got great hip flexibility. I always say, hamstring on your Achilles. You need to be able to go past parallel. Parallel's not good enough. As anybody knows, you can go deep and squat now. Back 30 years ago, everybody's afraid to drop down in the hole. Well, I've never seen an Olympic weightlifter with a bad knee. Have you? Hell no. They don't use straps, they don't use wraps, they don't use belts. All they do is do everything perfectly and go through a full range of motion. So all of our guys, whether we're back squat or front squat, and again, like I said, I don't try to do this back squat as much, but we'll always go well past parallel. And again, especially for a wrestler, if you don't have great groin flexibility, hip flexibility, you're not going to be very good. It's one thing Coach Smith still to this day. Yeah, see, Neil's outstanding. Once you spin around there, take 2 steps. Or you can rack and come back through. That's fine. That's perfect. You're going to sleep good tonight. So either way, if a guy's got a little bit of an injury issue, he can do the straps, or if they don't have great flexibility, like in Austin Marsden's arms are pretty big, and so he likes to use the straps, and that's okay, because he's a big man. But Z, on the other hand, is an even bigger man, and goes even heavier, and he likes it right here. He'll put 315, Coach Smith's seen it, Neil's seen it, he'll have 315 just like this, and just resting on his shoulders. But, I mean, that's ideal. That's why his hang clean is so effective as well. One thing I've done too, I did last year throughout the season, I like to always go back to pulling it from the floor, because I think it's critical. If you're doing it right, you don't have to use a ton of weight to get in this position to make your body a little more powerful and never quite completely get away from pulling it from the floor. Although I do like, obviously, hang cleans are a little more pop, a little more explosive. I just think pulling it from the floor has got a little bit more advantages, because, again, it helps their hips always kind of create that power and explosion.
What's your progression for teaching that to the
Progression, I fall straight. USA weightlifting, we go from top down. So we'll start at mid-thigh, then we'll go above the knee, below the knee, to the floor. Now, ideally, if you had some pulling stands, you could go mid-thigh, above, below, blocks, then floor. Blocks are kind of a little bit more important when you're training basketball and football because of the height of the athlete. But sometimes it is kind of difficult to, you got to be able to get in this position and keep your arms straight and your back flat. And some guys aren't ready to pull it from the floor here to where their hips are just high their knees. So when you got the pulling stands, it's really about a safe below the knee spot. So always top down, same with the snatch. But taking that into consideration as well, I don't ever pull snatch from the floor. I really think that you're getting what you need from the mid-thigh, and so I don't ever go all the way to the floor on your snatch. And then I always teach on the jerk. I teach the in front, I don't teach behind. Behind is a straight USA Olympic weightlifting deal, which they do it, but I just don't like the torque on the shoulders. So we'll go in front, and then we'll teach that before we teach the split. So always power jerk and then split jerk. But like I said, box jumps is second on the sheet for right now. I like to piggyback a power or a plyometric movement after a heavy strength movement to make sure that nervous system's always thinking power and explosion instead of the slow strength movement. So you've got the heavy front squat, now get over there and do your box jumps. Come back, hit your front squat, box jumps, and so on. Bench press, heavy bench, chest pass, or a plyo push-up. To where, again, the last thing that you're remembering, that muscle group is remembering, or your body's remembering, is that power and explosion. So I always try to piggyback a plyo after a heavy strength movement. Now, sandbag step up to overhead press. I think you saw yesterday, I really like the sandbag stuff. I just think it's a little bit uneven and unconventional, and everything's not balanced for you. So again, it's more like wrestling. And I think the knee up, toe up is a little bit more that knee up.
You want to press?
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. I like the knee up, toe up, head through, just because again it works that hip flexibility so much better instead of just standing up on the box. Now also, no matter what a guy, let's say somebody tweaks an elbow, they're going to come in and lift. I'll just modify the lift. They can hold dumbbells, or I can send them to the hammer line. No matter what, they're going to get their lift in the next day. They might be a 3/4 guy. That's what, let's say someone, perfect example, Tracy Moore, well, I better not say that because he might be on it. But let's say a guy tweaks a knee. Like today we lift football here this afternoon. They may do 3/4. They may do their upper body and one leg. So they're always going to get their lift in. Same with wrestling. No matter what, they're going to come down and get their lift in and then go up to the trainer and get treatment afterwards. Glute ham with a 25-pound plate. Ideally, you start with the low back extension, get that down. Then you start into your glute ham. Glute ham with a 25-pound plate in front. Then I have them put it behind their head, and then we go with a 45-pound plate. I try to get as much hamstring work as quad work in the workout, just to where there's no strength differential. And our guys, I think we've seen a big difference in our hip thickness and hip strength since we've started adding more weight to the glute ham. In season, I used to stay away from the 25 and the 45-pound plates while they're doing glute ham. The last couple years, I've said just do it. I think it's so much more effective that way. The weighted chin-ups, I do every variation of, I do front wide, close or neutral grip, chin up. We also do the up, over, down. I do this one the off season. He's gonna hang, he's gonna do a pull up, he's gonna shift over to the right, shift over to the left, and then back down. Good job. So every pull up imaginable I try to do, and then I think it's critical, you just have to use weight. So many times a guy can just pop up there and do 10 to 15 pull-ups, but I try to have him hang a 45 or a 25. And even a bigger guy like Marston, he started off, I had him hang a 10-pound plate because a little bit more on the overload principle is better than none. So sometimes I'll also piggyback that with, I'll do the weighted chin-ups, like 5 sets of 8, and then I'll have them pop down and do 2 sets of 20, just pump it out as much as they can. Also, we got the ropes that hang down over there. We'll do rope pull-ups and weighted rope pull-ups, as well as the prone. I just think that that's one difference in sports. Wrestling, I think, is one of the only sports down here that we don't do the prone pull-ups with. It's just, those guys are just so strong, back strength-wise, they don't get a whole lot out of the prone pull-ups. Everybody know what I'm talking about on the prone pull-up? Let me demo that one. Yep. Chin over the bar, arms all the way out straight. If you're a real man, the bar wouldn't move. There you go. Thank you. Now, what I do like doing the prone rope pull-ups, dropping the pull-ups down, doing the same thing, and having them grab a hold, because when there's no bar going horizontally, the ropes are coming down like this, they want to let their body sag. So pre-season, I'll have them do the prone rope pull-ups. I think they get tired from that quicker, and again, it helps with their grip as well. Bench 4 5s. Again, I don't bench all the time, especially in season. We try to run as much dumbbell work as possible. Obviously, we do dumbbell bench, dumbbell incline. We'll do alternate. We'll go top to bottom. We'll go bottom to top to where they have to stabilize, and then we do one arm as well. And I think that's great for your core. Again, you're killing two birds with one stone. I'm a big believer in the dumbbells. I'm a big believer in single arm, single leg work. The more single arm stuff, the more single leg stuff you have, the more you're going to be stable, the more your joints are going to be stable, the more you're going to stay away from injury. And here's the thing, and the more I've done this, I'm pretty young really in this business as far as some of you guys. I'm 23 years in. I feel like I've been doing this forever, but you can be the best strength coach. I mean, and there's some guys that are like Justin or JT's outstanding, and he does a phenomenal job, and has had the same guys that I've had, as far as Jake Roshaw, Coleman Scott, Chris Middleton. And you can be a great strength coach and not win any damn matches. You can be an average strength coach and win a ton of matches. It's all based on the guys you have trotting out there. But the one thing I've kind of figured out during this whole deal is all you can do is every little possible stone's got to be unturned on this stuff, and that still doesn't guarantee you can do prehab and single arm and single leg and plyometric stuff. And sometimes a guy's body's just going to come back from a funky position, and sometimes they're just not. It's just the way it is. Neil, how often are you injured? Not very often. And Neil's got some of the worst shoulder flexibility ever. And in the end, it got it. So, but I mean, we did a lot of snatch work and a lot of jerk work, and just I don't know why I felt like I wanted to throw that in there, but I just think sometimes that we can, as strength coach, overthink things and try to be too cute, and in the end it's really about cleaning and squatting and your plyometric work in the end. I just think that's the meat and potatoes, and that's what the guys like anyway. So push-up, superset with straight bar curl. Again, at the end, I try to flush them and blow their arms out as much as possible. Have them go right here on the rafter doing the straight bar curl, push up, back and forth, to where they're just getting as blown as possible. I try to switch that up. I don't always go straight bar. Sometimes I do the easy bar. Sometimes we do dumbbells. But they're always usually going to get, I say that, I always try to get a curl in at some point. Sometimes I'll put, if I don't want to do a platform work that day, I'll go a heavy upright row to where they're getting some sort of pull movement, and then heavy straight bar curl, superset with pull-ups on the front end. I don't do that very often, but that does blow them up to where their grip is gone for the rest of the workout, which is fantastic, because that's really what I'm trying to get, to try to mimic the third period to where they're done. And again, the only time I allow straps is what you saw with Neil, and no chalk. So no straps and chalk, obviously, because you're not going to be able to go chalk up out in the middle of the damn mat. Neck, the last couple years, again, I've reevaluated what we've done on the neck stuff. I used to do a lot of manual neck. I'm kind of sliding more towards the heavier weighted neck. And again, I don't know if it's the football background, but now we're seeing it in so many sports. Even our soccer team does a four-way neck because of the heading of the soccer ball. The stronger your neck is, they've done the recent studies now have shown that the stronger your neck is, the more you stay away from your concussions. So, and I've kept the neck in the last couple of years throughout the. I would get away from it because there's so much pulling on the head during the season, but I think we've got to blow through the year doing the neck all the way through. Abs, again, back to, we used to do a lot of just tire them out ab work and not a lot of weighted stuff. I think you got to train your abdominals just like every other muscle. You've got to load it up, you've got to use a 45 or a 25. You got to have med balls between your legs or dumbbells. I just think it's important to do, to train those abs just like a regular muscle and load it up ab-wise. Any questions on that workout? Because what you see here or what you saw yesterday is really the same type template. It's just a shorter workout in season than it is off season. But we're always going to start with the Olympic lifts first. You know, large muscle group, multi-joint lifts to a single joint lift. Complex is simple. Large muscle group, small muscle group. So we'll always start the same way. It's just not near as long. Any questions on this workout or how I set up the workout? Okay. Let's write this down. We'll actually just put it here. One thing I do too, you can do several different. You can go 5s, you can go 10s, you can go 8s. But one thing I like as far as in season, short time period, you don't have a lot of time to get it done, do a Miller complex. So let's go upright row 5, hang clean 5, jerk 5, front squat 5. 5 upright rows. He's going to jump his hands apart. 5 hang cleans. 5 jerks. See that great shoulder flexibility? 5 front squats. Get back up there. Flip it over 5 in over rows. I went 5. Starting from the beginning. Been over row 5. We call this the Miller complex. And again, this is a great thing you can do. You can go 3 or 4 rounds. You can do 5s, 8s. A buddy of mine the other day said, I took that Miller complex and instead of doing 5s, I have to do 8s. Instead of doing 3 rounds, they do 5 rounds at the end of their workout. I was like, damn. He said, yeah, they're gone. A lot of times after the Miller complex, I'll have to do upright row or pull-ups and straight bar and push-ups, and they're out the door. That's a quicker, shorter workout to where your forearms are done about that time. And again, you can start off with like Z will do a 135 on this when he goes to the Miller complex. So I think that's one of those things that you can do at the end of the workout to gas them. And again, you can play with that as much as you want on your rep scheme, and again on your sets as well. Any questions you guys have of me? I know we're getting close to the end. Anything at all? Good. Thanks for coming. I appreciate it. If you guys want to come up and ask me a question afterwards,